Let me just talk on our schedule first. You know, I think it's going to be it's a good schedule. Again, I said this in the press release as well. This is year 2 of our situation. It's not year 6. It's not year 8. It's year 2. I think we have a good non-conference schedule. When I tell other teams around the country, other coaches about who we're playing, they're like, "Man, that's a good schedule." And again, you can't base on what everything was done on last year. We had done research on what we feel that these teams will be as we go into the future. Some of the teams were locked in based on an event when we played against LSU in the exempted event, and we'll play LSU in Tupelo, Mississippi. But otherwise, I think it's a challenging schedule. It's a good schedule. Everyone's got to remember that we are young. I mean, are we talented? Yes, but we are young. We've got to get everyone, which I expect, everyone through the clearinghouse, and I think it's going to be ready for us and an improved Conference USA with more new coaches and everything else. So I think it's a good balance and test from top to bottom. Now here's the thing, everyone. I've talked to Gary Johnson, who is in charge of the RPI with the NCAA. We had Jerry Palm talk to us at the conference league meetings. Greg Shaheen, who is in charge of the men's basketball committee, as in terms of overseeing the entire thing with the NC2A, as in terms of the television contracts and everything else. Every one of those guys talked about, you talked about RPI or the numbers. The biggest thing is teams that you play need to win 18 to 24 games. It doesn't matter who they play, how they play. Now it's got to be Division I opponents. That's the thing. It's got to be Division I out of those things. But that is the most important thing, is in that stretch there of teams that you play, win or lose, the teams that you're playing, the most important thing is that they win 18 to 24 games total. That's in that stretch there. Anything more than 24 is great, but it's got to be at least 18. I mean, that's the big magic number. 20 is that's when you really start moving up. So that's what we're looking at, more so than, I know everyone talks about, well, this team had a low RPI or this team's it's not about the RPI numbers, it's about the wins. Will they get 18 to 24 wins in their time for the season? Obviously, they've got to do their job like we would have to do our job during the year. And here's the other thing with us. Everyone says, well, play this opponent, play that opponent. There's a few things to think about. We've got to get a certain amount of home games. I mean, those are the facts. I mean, I'm required per our administration, we've got to have a certain amount of home games. So yes, we can get home games, but then in the following year, you got to return them back to that spot. So it's not as easy as it sounds. And sometimes teams don't just want to play Memphis. I mean, I know sometimes teams say, well, yeah, we'll play you, but again, it's either a home and home, or it wants to be a neutral site. We need to have home games, especially from the administration. They want us to have as many home games as we can, because that's important, and still have good names, and I think we do that. It's unfortunate that the Gonzaga-Tennessee series is together instead of alternating. That would probably be, I know that would make the fans a little more happier if it was alternating, where one was at home, one was on the road. But again, I think it's a solid schedule. It's a good schedule. We are in year 2. We do have a young team, talented. Figuring everyone gets through the clearinghouse, we have a good team and a young team, but the schedule is challenging enough and will give us a lot of good tests throughout the season.